Hello, hello, and welcome to Magical Witchy World Television. I am Starr Ravenhawk.
And I am Rhonda Alin. Welcome, welcome. And tonight, Starr, would you like to introduce our
We are
guest?
proud to welcome Laura Tempest Zakroff to Magical Witchy World TV.
Awesome. Hold on. Here we go.
It's a magical witchy world.
All right. Yay!
Hello.
Welcome, Laura. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank,
So,
thank you for having me. I was
as
grooving
we
to that
do,
music. Like, yeah.
yes,
It does get
we
me,
are so
doesn't
excited that we
it?
had that. Yeah, we just that was written for us.
Yeah,
Amazing but
yeah,
true.
yeah.
So, um, let us go ahead first and introduce you. So let me go through your bio so everyone here watching knows who you are and what you've been doing. So Laura Tempest Zakroff is a professional artist, author, performer, and modern traditional witch based in New England. Laura is the author of several best-selling Llewellyn books, including Weave the Liminal, Sigil Witchery, Visual Alchemy, and Anatomy of a Witch, as well as the artist and author of the award winning decks Anatomy of a Witch Oracle and the Liminal Spirits Oracle. Laura also edited the new Aradia, A Witch's Handbook to Magical Resistance, and The Gorgon's Guide to Magical Resistance from Revelore Press. Laura is the creative force behind several community events and teaches workshops online and worldwide. You can find Laura at lauratempestzakroff.com, and we'll be streaming that address as well on our show. So, welcome, Laura.
Yay!
Thank you so much
Yes.
for joining us
Yeah,
tonight.
Thank
we've been
you.
looking forward to this conversation with you. So, let's begin. Okay. So, kind of over the years, we kind of know that as we evolve in our craft or in whatever it is that we're doing, we carve out different names for ourselves. So, we don't want
Mhm.
to assume. We would like to find out what you have called yourself or if you've changed anything at all.
One thing I think has been fairly consistent since I was a wee witchlet, and through now, is I've considered myself a modern traditional witch. That was the name that I settled on back then. I felt like it described where I was and where I was going. One thing that has changed though is I've back in the day, like I put on pagan pride events and run a pagan society, and now was my relationship with that word not quite so much. So when people are like, "Are you a pagan?" I'm like, I guess it's a title that works for a larger umbrella, but I really feel like witch is the place where I exist more wholesomely. That's not almost holy in there, and model my events after that too. It's why we have the Witches Night Out Market instead of a pagan event. It's very
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
focused on that magical aspect of it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I understand all of that. All right.
Well said. Well said. So, as you know, as you're speaking about this the modern traditional witch, let me ask the question then, going backwards in time again also, what brought you to the world of the witch? How did you come into this, or how did you recognize that this is who you are?
It first started with, I was very much an avid reader when I was very young, of reading things that I probably shouldn't be reading at a young age, from Clan of the Cave Bear and the Mists of Avalon,
Mm,
and getting a sense of a different belief system. I'm coming from a Italian Sicilian Catholic mother and a Slavic Jewish father, you kind of mix. I'm like, I knew these things existed. But hanging out at Barnes and Noble, because that's what you did in South Carolina. It was open late. You went to the Starbucks. Looking in the New Age and the metaphysical sections. Looking at the books that were in the '90s, I was like, I don't know if any of this is really, where I want to be, until I saw Margot Adler's Drawing Down the Moon.
mm, mhm.
And because, like, to me, all the other books look like fantasy covers. I'm like, can I really take this? Can I take this seriously? I'm offending all the people who are like, but I love my '90s book covers. I'm like, they're Yeah.
Witching.
So like NPR reporter, photograph on the cover, and then this really in-depth study of all these different groups, all these different magical practitioners and their history and what's going on outside of the the other books that were on the shelf. And there we had the resources, and so I was able to really find out like there were actual people doing the thing that felt more like what I was doing, without any sort of veneer.
Well said.
That-
Thank you.
That is awesome. It actually kind of in that vein. So then from your point of view, what does it mean to be a witch or to be where you are?
That's such a good question. You know, you ask two witches that, you get 6 answers.
I know, right? That's why we say
Okay.
from your point of view, not from anybody else's.
So to me, a witch is a weaver. It is someone who connects the seen and unseen worlds, who is in touch with, the liminal spaces, which is not just, physical space and trance space and such, but what happens in between communications between us and spirit, the divine, the world itself, and our own bodies, and to be in tune and interconnected with all of this. That's my nutshell.
Beautiful.
Beautiful answer.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. So so having an understanding of how you came to this and how you define yourself, how does this now, and this may be a little bit of a not challenging question, but how is magic then a part of your life? How does it, is it something that you live every day? How do you work with magic in your everyday life? Let's put it that way.
I have this tank top that says magic every damn day.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
didn't care much, and the shop I got it from, but that shirt, I'm like, this shirt sums it up. I really see magic, ritual, our experience of the world is like the little moments as well as those big ceremonial moments. That a daily practice is acknowledging breath and what we eat and what we drink and how we sleep and how we interact with each other, rather than like, oh, I have to pull a card and have to light incense and I gotta walk around a circle 20 times. Like you can do those things if you feel called to them, but also just acknowledging like, how does it feel to drink something and connect it, and to go outside and like smile at the dandelions as they smile back at you. I'm doing a lot of right now because we finally have dandelions. I'm so excited.
Awesome. We know this weather, right?
Well said. And that's an excellent point. What I'm hearing is that it's not something that you're inserting into your everyday. It is how you move through every moment of your day.
Yes.
It's
It
part
is
of your
the
life.
air,
That's
the
It's
water.
part of
beautiful.
your
That's
life.
beautiful.
It's not a
Yeah.
fan thing or anything or a fad. It is part of your
Right.
life, So it's
Yeah.
awesome. So, okay, I would like to find out what's important to you within the whole scheme of it.
What's important? That's such a interesting thing to think about. Is like, what's happening in this moment in time, right? Where we're at in this point in this constellation. And, for some days that's going to be connecting to other people and to be there as a teacher and a guide. And other days is the self-care, right? To take care and like put your own affairs in order. So taking care of self, taking care of other people, and at points being like, all right, need to do social justice work, or you need to do something that's educational work for other people. So it's at the same moving target, but it's when you're doing it every day, right? It's what stitch am I picking up right now to weave this pattern? But I think really right now, like if I was going to say one big overarching goal is getting a sense of hope and a vision and moving people in that direction, so that they can have a more authentic practice for themselves and trust in their own magic, and to be a reminder to myself as well to do that.
I trusting in yourself and believing in your own magic. That is like, can we get that on repeat? That is so important.
Yeah.
That takes us to this next piece and the next question, because if we have community that is that engaged and they do feel that they are empowered to practice their magic,
Hmm.
um, how does that then move through community? How do you see that influencing or having impact on the community that we're building here, that you're building, the community we're working with?
One of the things, so we were chatting before we started about, I was at Between the
Yeah.
Worlds Sacred Space this last weekend, and it was in many ways kind of affirming in some of the things I'd been seeing in the last few years of where do we go as a community, and kind of those little teasers coming in. And we talk so, or at least since 2016, been talking about the tower times, right? The tower times, it's tower times.
Mhm.
And I got this really loud message of, I've been saying the Starr card is next, right? The Starr card is next.
Mhm.
Like, it's time to stop waiting for the Starr card. It is time to apply this. Which means that with the tower card, right, we can be sitting here looking at the destruction, which is what all our media is doing, right?
Yes.
Destruction,
Yeah.
hatred, all these things. It's like we can clock those all day long, but if we're not removing them, if we're not moving the debris and making the space to build something new and to have hope,
Yes.
as magical workers, we really need to be focusing on what is it we want to bring in, rather than being like, wow, we're standing in a pile of rubble. That's a pile of
Yes.
rubble. Like,
Yes. Well said.
Wow. That is so well said, because a
Oh.
lot of what I'm thinking of, the astrology that we're going to come up with later on, a lot of it is based on some of what you just said. It's so, yeah, it's
Mhm.
on point. It's on point. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Excellent.
Okay. So what events, oh wait, okay, sorry. One question. I forgot. What would you like to see us as witches accomplish?
all right. So first, being able to listen
Mm.
more fully. A lot of people, I mean, I love it. I'm a Gemini. I will tell you all the information. I have to tell you all the things. But at the same
Yes.
time, in order to be able to share that information, I need to be able to listen to what
Mm-mm-mm.
is required and what is needed, and to find the balance between that, right? So to open up a dialogue with spirit, with each other. So to improve our sense of listening, which gives us a better sense of nuance and context, which have been kind of those two words where we're like, what's the context for this discussion, whether we're talking about different aspects of culture or practice, belief,
Mhm.
gatekeeping, all of those different things, right? What's the context? What's the nuance that's happening here? And then continue to build up that sense of trust, and appreciation and respect. But it starts with listening. You can't know what the community needs, what each other needs, unless we are being open to communicate that. And communication is not just talking, it's
Mm.
Yeah.
Listening. Yes, absolutely. That's very
Yeah.
powerful. That is very powerful, and that is some serious work that we have on the agenda,
it's not
right?
easy either. Nope.
No, it's
No,
not. It's harder than
you're
people think,
absolutely
which is
right.
why it's something that you suggest, that listening more is one of the best things. That's how you're able to decide how to proceed from there.
Exactly. And I just want to call out, we do have people in the chat who are following this and that are waving and clapping and applauding the conversation. So I just want to like acknowledge that there are folk in the chat. Thank you guys so
Thank
much for
you.
joining us and giving us your comments and your feedback and your support. So next question, what projects do you have coming up, or what are the things that you're working on or thinking about working on?
Mm.
'Cause I know you're always busy. You're always doing things. So,
The thing that's coming out is something I worked on last year, which will be, Eva Dominguez has his series of Zodiac witches, right? So I co-authored the Gemini Witch with him, so I'll be out this summer, which is kind of a funny thing, because I can't say, like, I have a kind of rudimentary type of astrology. I tend to be one of those folks, like, I don't want to know too much. Like I did check today. I'm like, is Mercury in retrograde? Oh, nope, we're in the
Right.
shadow. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but it was kind of it was a really fun experience doing that, and that whole series I think is going to be helpful. And they're cute little books. They're like, I saw one of the little galleys. I'm like,
Excited.
this is so like, I just want to eat it. It's so good.
I'm excited. I have to say, Laura, I'm a contributing author to Scorpio, but that'll be
All
next year.
right. All
That'll be
right.
next year.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
It's coming. They're
Yeah.
all coming out. So it's a great series, and I think at some point they'll do like a little box set, maybe, I don't know, but they're scrumptious. So like that was kind of, you know, because of how publishing works, it takes 6 months to a year, or not, if not longer than that. And where I've been otherwise is kind of in the quest of like, what is next? What is the next thing? Which has been a deep dive into my art, and seeing what needs to come next, you know, because I feel like I've really accomplished or gotten some important goals out of the way, which, you know, like Weave the Liminal is about helping people set up a practice for themselves, something that works for them, regardless of where they're coming from, what their experience is. And Sigil Witchery and Visual Alchemy are about bringing the art into that. And then anatomy is all about the body aspects, you know, as a dancer, as a performer, like these are all important things.
Yeah.
But what's next? And I have a few things, but they're just, you know, none of them have gone to like me first. So I'm in this kind of, I'm in a liminal place of
Interesting. Yes.
just make art for art's sake, which is working out.
This is
Yeah.
Which is
That's
beautiful.
wonderful.
That's fabulous. And what about the events you have coming up then?
So here up in New England, I run the Witches Night Out Market, which is 2 times this year. We're just doing 2. We did 6 last year. That was a lot.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I was like, let's do 3 to 4. And my collaborators like, how about 6? I'm like, this is fine.
Right?
It's fine. And I was like, we're not doing this again. So we have next Friday here in Providence is the first one, and then October 20th will be our other one. And then I also run I co-run a group up here called Key and Serpent Society, which is based in modern traditional witchcraft. It's not a coven or you know, a sort of an organized group. It's more of a learning group. We work on alternating between lectures and rituals so people can see a bunch of different things. And we've created a outreach type of day. This summer will be July 23rd, which is a day of witchery. So it's a day of witchery. We were initially going to call it Witches in the Pack, which, you know, very Rhode Island, Massachusetts.
In the park.
Witches in the Pack. But then we thought, what if one day we don't throw it in a park and then still call it Witches in the Pack?
Right. And what date is that again?
That's July 23rd.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Sounds great. Sounds great.
July's going to be a crazy month because I have Mystic South right before that, and then after that is the Witch City Tarot conference.
Yes.
I hate myself.
Yeah.
But I'll be having fun. It'll be great, people. It's great. It's great.
At least that's great, though.
Fabulous.
You know, you're moving around. You know, you're being seen, you're being heard, and you know, it's nice teaching people what you know. You're not giving your wisdom and everything. All right. Yeah. So I know we have your information across the screen, but we would love to have you state also if you anywhere else that people could find you. That'd be great.
Oh, so the website you see below is my author website, lauratempestzakroff.com. That will also get you to my shop site, which is where you can see my art and books, decks, all the things that I create. You can find me on Instagram at alchemy.arts, and alchemy is spelled weird. It's spelled OWLKEYME because owl, I love owls. It's a key, sort of Hecate. It's me. And then there's also the YouTube channel. So like all of those links, though, you can find them through the website below. Just follow the little icons and that will get you there.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been fabulous.
Yes.
And I really look forward to connecting with at least because I love your Oracle decks. I have them. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what's coming up next. I am curious what comes from this liminal space. So thank you again for joining us tonight.
Always great to see your lovely faces, and hopefully I get to see them in person in the future.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Always welcome. Always welcome.
Absolutely.
Right.
And now a word from our sponsor. And one more word.
All right, and we know this astrology time. Okay, so astrologically speaking, March was an unforgettable month with planets making significant moves that will have a long term effect both personally and collectively to many of us or all of us. And I'll give you a brief recap. On March 23rd, Pluto entered Aquarius and will be there for 3 months, and then it will come back, giving us kind of a glimpse of the many foreboding changes to come, whether you wanted to or not. So do your part for when it returns again on January 21st, 2024, and will stay in January and will stay there until January 19th in 2044. So that's a long time, 2 decades it's going to be
Wow.
there. So it's got some work to do. Otherwise, it would not be staying there that long. But, anyways, it will bring us in its wake to absolute destruction. Yes. Of what we have deemed the norm and ending those ways that did not serve the collective. So Aquarius has decided that it's time to work for the community, the collective, the people at large, and not just the people at the top. However, when the dust settles, it will have revealed many truths at its very core, seeking and creating a path to remove disinformation, fake news, and all that does not serve us well via technology, data, science, systems of power, and anything it sees as unproductive and wrong that will bring a new determination to forge new beginnings that better serves the collective. Again, if you notice, the theme with this is that it wants to serve the collective in a better way, a better forum. And Pluto in Aquarius will transform our understanding of the power of that collective. They have, that whole thing, power of the people. Yes.
Yes.
We'll witness the value and cost of information and maybe even attempt democratizing it in a whole new way. Think of this first 3 months in 2023 as the foreshadowing of seismic shifts to come. Historically, in case you forget, the last time Pluto passed through Aquarius was from 1777 to 1797. And in that period, you witnessed both the French and American revolutions. So you
Yes.
know it's
So,
here to do some seismic shifts again.
yeah, big things are happening. So these are the dates to highlight with the arrival of the first eclipse of the year and the second Mercury retrograde of 2023. April 19th, we have the solar eclipse and the new moon in Aries, and it's the first eclipse of 2023. This is a very different eclipse from the ones we experienced in 2022, as it's the first one that occurs in the Aries Libra axis, which is a new energetic signature that we will experience in 2023 and half of next year, 2024. This new moon solar eclipse occurs at the karmic degree or 29 degrees of Aries, and which means it signals a fresh start and a chance to plant new seeds for the future. However, as usual, all eclipses hold an element of unpredictability. So always have a plan B. Always have your plan B. It may bring some pretty shocking surprises. However, since it's taking place in the boldest of all zodiac signs, we can channel our inner Aries by being brave and courageous and blaze a whole new trail for ourselves. These two astrological happenings create an unpredictable atmosphere, so it's best to pay attention and stay awake at the wheel in order to keep a handle on the chaos. So, as many of you in this climate think it's not maybe a good thing, but better to stay awake or woke, as people like to say nowadays. Anyway, on April 5th, we have the full moon in Libra, which has awakened in us a sense of justice and balance. The sign of all relationships, it brings the need to balance the efforts in us versus others. So air quotes, us versus air quotes, others. No more othering of people. We need to stop with the fear of the other.
Right. There you go. With the
Hmm.
sun exactly conjunct Chiron in Aries, it will reawaken a sore spot. Since we have the incredible powerful activation of the wounded healer, Chiron, requesting that we pay attention to our race and class relationship hangups. And we all have them. We know that we all do. I don't care who you are. We all have those some sort of hang up with those things. Do the work so we can finally put these behaviors to rest. If not, you'll be forced to revisit them soon once the lunar north node enters Aries later in the summer. Changes will need to be made that may involve food, wellness, health, and other overall life organization. That means that we are going to have issues with food, rationing, or whatever it is, or even water that's coming up. Despite what people think in the United States, it is going to be happening. And it happens with other ways too right now already. Okay.
Mhm.
Health. We need to take care of the health situation that we have. Anything that give overall life organization and affects everyone in the community. Aries is about courage and bravery, so this event will awaken your drive, determination, and resolve. Let these parts of yourself rise to the surface and consider where these traits might best serve your community, friends, and family. So it's all about
Yeah.
that global
Yes.
community. Okay.
Yes, again about community. So now let's go back to another key date. On April 20th, we have the sun entering Taurus. Then on April 21st through May 14th, we have this important transit, which is the Mercury retrograde. So now everything will seem to come to a grinding halt. Things will start to feel that the slowdown is coming and things will feel like they're getting stuck or they're slowing down to a stop. Curb your spending and review your budgets. This is important. And check your resources, making certain that you have what's available and that what you need for the rest of the year. Take the opportunity to slow down, enjoy the ride, and truly set yourself up for success. Focus on what anchors you and keeps you grounded in the present moment. Love, personal, and community relationships. Again, back to community. Self love, time in nature, soul nourishment. These are all key areas of
Yeah.
focus for
Yeah.
this period.
And also, how does the most important astrological dates in 2023 affect you and the global community? The retrogrades, the eclipses, and the transits that will influence you and the community or society at large. When you explore the most important astrological dates of 2023, what you get from it is it's essential to understand that each shift, transit, alignment, eclipse, and lunation that takes place exerts an influence on individuals as well as the societal structures altogether. For some, it will be intense, but it all depends on where you take your stand. It's time to set your intentions. It's time for you to take your stand, and where are you on that stand? As you do so, consider two things. First, how can I create habits that support myself and the collective communities? So, again, it's asking you to not just think of yourself, but how does it affect everyone else and how can you help with that? Also, equally essential is asking yourself, how can I help them happen with ease? What part do I play in the scheme of things? Don't overcomplicate things. Keep it simple. Keep it fulfilling for you and the community.
Yes. So, some of the things that we need to focus on: dust off the to do list, do the work for yourself and for others, because again, community, train yourself in any way you can. Think outside the box and definitely take that leap of faith. The path isn't always easy, we know this, but it is throughout these transits that we continually learn the skill of mastering our reality for ourselves and for the collective. Learn to accept self responsibility. Try not to blame others for everything. So back again, we're trying to move away from the othering of people, right? Accept what you're responsible for and work on that to better yourself and the collective. So with Pluto's transit into Aquarius on March 23rd through January 21st of 2043, We've already started bringing out the truth about our ruling structures and the activation, if you will, of transformation. We've already started to see some of that. We've already begun to see the collective coming together to create real and tangible change for the greater good. We will also see more progressive change in the world regarding human rights, as well as race and gender equality. We'll also see a lot of change in the tech world. Pluto in Aquarius is about revolution and big change in our society.
There you
Remember how
go.
Starr
Yes.
mentioned? Yeah.
Yes. And you notice it keeps repeating the same things, right? All about you,
Yeah.
all about
Ex-
the collective, the community,
yeah.
And
Yep.
there are three major Mercury retrogrades in 2023: April 21st to May 14th, August 23rd to September 15th, and then December 13th to January 1st. Each year, Mercury retrogrades goes through in a specific elemental sign. This year, Mercury retrogrades in the earth signs. So it forces us to take information not just from the usual heady place, but from understanding how we all communicate. And that's what your body, as well as your facial expressions, everything, how you communicate with others, how you understand others.
Mm.
And there are four major eclipses in 2023: April 20th, May 5th to the 6th, and October 14th, October 28th to the 29th. All of those dates are major, those four major eclipses. Eclipse periods foreshadow themes in our personal lives that need work. When we align with these divine cycles by taking time for self reflection, we can tap deeply into our purpose and become a stabilizing force and resource for our communities. Okay. Once you supply that resource for the communities, it comes back to you and resources for yourself. So it all plays itself out. So don't think
Mhm.
you're spreading yourself too thin. See the time between eclipses as allowing us to tap into aspects of ourselves that we don't readily use or see. Things that we've turned a blind eye to will be revealed, so pay attention and see where you can be of help for yourself and the community at large.
Yes.
Right.
Again,
Okay.
community,
Yes.
community.
Yes.
Big deal.
Big deal.
All righty. So before we go further with this, let's transition to our card of the night. Hold on. So, yes, as we were saying, community and us. And we'll go ahead and pull a single card on that question, right?
Yes.
Excellent. I'm going to shuffle my cards. And again, I'm working with the Wiser Tarot tonight. My favorite deck.
Okay. So what have you got?
The card that I have is actually a jump. It's the Ten of Swords.
Oh my goodness.
It's the Ten of
Oh my goodness.
Swords, which is a really interesting card for this question. How do we deal with the, we're talking about periods, Aquarius is looking for us to do certain things, right? We're in this shifting mindset. And when I look at the 10 of swords, a lot of people look at this card and they think, wow, that really looks foreboding. It looks pretty dark. It looks pretty dim. And I see this actually as a card that says, look, what do we notice about this? About what's happening here is these dark this dark area here is beginning to lift. We see the light returning to the world. 10 tells me we're at a place of completion. We've taken it as far as we need to take it. This card, most people traditionally say, oh, yes, well, the worst is over. All these things that have been stuck in your head we talked about how things are shifting, the major changes in technology. This is Swords is about technology. So major change. We are no longer going to stay where we've always been. The worst is over. Things are going to have to move. They're going to have to shift. Is it easy? No. And we can see that by this figure laying here on the ground. But if we come together, we can get to that next phase. So, this for me, I don't see this as being dark, foreboding, and heavy. It acknowledges that a change is coming. It's going to be a change of mindset, and we're going to lift ourselves out of this darkness. That's how I look at that.
Oh my goodness. And I've been smiling and sitting here as I'm watching you read that card. And I was like,
Mhm.
I do not have a jumper today, but this is the one that I pulled. And
Which
this
one
is
did you
the
pull?
King of Swords. This is
Oh,
the
the
Witch's
King of
Tarot. The
Swords.
King of Swords. So when you pulled out the swords, we don't make this up. You
No.
can't make this shit up. It comes on its own. The King of Swords. And if you look
Unreal.
on his what is it? On his left arm is an owl. The crown is on his head.
Mm-hmm.
The left arm is where the on the where his fist there is. You see the owl resting there,
Yes.
and you see the sword holding up in his right hand,
Mm-hmm.
and he's sitting there in a way, kind of arrogantly so in a way, but at the same time, he's seeking wisdom and the technology and all of it that's there. Sorry, the light is shining on it, so it's like, can
That's
you see
okay.
it properly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like, we're watching and we will see. It's so funny because with the astrology, we've been saying this, that we are going to see a lot of things happening with technology. Aquarius came in and took it away from Capricorn and basically said, enough of the internet or technology controlling us. It's more of us controlling the outcome of that technology or who's in charge of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot of changes and turmoil there with that, in terms of controlling and handling it more with more wisdom.
There we go.
It feels like there's more wisdom, that because it's internet and on the technology is something that we need. We survive on it, we thrive on it.
Yes.
But there are wise ways to that the people that have been in charge of it has not been wise with their choices, with some of the things that they do and manipulate with it.
Agreed.
So this is saying that now it's going to be a lot of wisdom coming with it. Information and disinformation is going to be better controlled,
Mm-hmm.
because it's telling us all together. I mean, we just read it where it said fake news and disinformation is going to have to be taken out.
Yes.
They will find a way to make a lot of this change. And those that control the technology on the top are going to have to be played. They're going to be operating on a new set of rules, a new set of things, because it's the technology that they control is
Mhm.
bigger than they are,
Mm-hmm.
because it involves the collective, and the collective is now saying we want some rules put in place.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
because you came up with the idea does not mean you control the narrative.
At this point, it has
It's
damage that it can
wants
do.
it handled in a better way,
Yeah.
so that information and how it affects the community at large changes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for the better, because it's a lot of, instead of saying it's one person's decision, it's many people's decision, making it based on the collective. What's the best needs for the collective? What's the
So
best
important.
for the collective?
So important.
Yeah. So a lot of this is to me taking the arrogance out of play
Yeah.
and bringing the wisdom in. And yeah, this
Well, we have two swords tonight, and that's
yes,
interesting.
this is what I mean. This is, I'm telling you,
It-
it's
it's not pre-planned. It just happens. That's what the
yes,
card
we
means.
just pulled it or jumped, like you said.
I had a
You know,
jumper. It jumped out of my
it
deck.
is what
So
it is.
yeah. So
So
listen, we have that's fabulous. I'm happy that we had the cards pop up the way that they do. And for anybody whoever works with cartomancy or any form of divination, when things happen like that, we pay attention.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, we do.
so we
Yeah.
have coming up next week.
Okay, so for next week, April 21st at 10 p.m. Eastern, we have the Magical Witchy World panel on. Again, it's our third show on racism in our communities, but this time it's the feedback and response that we got from people. And we'll be answering some of that, dealing with some of that. And so we're hoping to bring back everyone that was there. If not, those who cannot make it back, it's still good, but we're doing the feedback and response time with it. So I can't wait for us to have that, right?
Yes, and let's show a little clip.
It's a magical
Okay, and I can't say enough thank you again to Fred of Dark Moon Spirit for that,
Cannot.
for our theme song that he literally wrote and created for us. So it's beautiful.
Love,
I
love,
know,
love.
right? I know
Thank
it
you. Thank you. Thank you,
as it's
Fred.
playing,
Cannot thank
I'm
you enough.
dancing and moving to that music. He did
Me
such a great
too.
job. Thank you so much. And don't
Yes.
forget to check out our Pagan Ninja playlist. It is up. I have to put up all the other information with it. So it will be there for everyone. We're going to be having also a pagan music playlist coming soon as well.
Yes. Yes.
And again, Rhonda and I would like to thank our guest, Laura Tempest Zakroff, for
Yes.
being here
Thank
with us
you, Laura.
tonight, and all of you that have been supporting us. We really appreciate you. Please spread the word. You
Yes.
know,
And
Rhonda, anything else you would like to say?
yes, I would like to say thank you, everyone. Thank you for everyone who was in our chat tonight. We really appreciate you joining in and contributing to the conversation. Please do like and subscribe to us on YouTube. That really helps us out. And thank you all. We will see you all next week. Have a great
Yay!
week,
Have a
everyone.
great week, everyone. Take care.